52 am at my wit's end with this whole situation. My stepdaughter Maya, 21F, has been spreading awful rumors about my daughter Katie, 19F, at their college, and it's gotten so bad that Katie had to stop going to classes. I've cut off Maya's college funding until she apologizes and fixes this mess, but she's refusing to do it. Now my wife Lisa, 48F, is taking Maya's side, and our whole family is falling apart. I lost my first wife Anna to breast cancer when Katie was just 4. The diagnosis came out of nowhere. She went from being perfectly healthy to stage 4 in what felt like minutes. We tried everything, chemo, radiation, experimental treatments, but nothing worked. She was gone within 8 months, leaving me alone with our baby girl. Those first few years were rough. I had to learn how to be both mom and dad, figure out things like doing Katie's hair for school and shopping for clothes. My sister helped when she could, but she lived 2 states away and had her own family to take care of. Katie was such a brave kid through it all. She barely remembered her mom, but she kept this little photo album by her bed and would tell the pictures about her day every night before going to sleep. It broke my heart, but somehow we managed to build a good life together. I worked from home as much as possible so I could be there for school pickups and dance recitals. Katie grew into this amazing, sweet kid who never gave me any trouble. I met Lisa at a parent-teacher conference 8 years ago. She was teaching 6th grade at Katie's middle school, though not in Katie's class. We kept running into each other at school events, and one day she asked if I wanted to grab coffee. Things moved pretty quickly after that. Lisa was smart, funny, and great with Katie. She'd been divorced for 3 years and had a daughter, Maya, from her previous marriage. Her ex was this real piece of work who'd cheated on her multiple times before finally leaving her for some college student. He barely paid child support and only saw Maya on holidays, if that. When Lisa and I started dating, Katie was thrilled. She was 11 and starting to ask questions about girl stuff that I had no clue how to answer. Having a woman around seemed perfect. Maya was 13 at the time and seemed okay with everything at first. She was quiet but polite, and I figured she just needed time to warm up to us. Lisa and I got married after dating for a year. We moved into my house since it was bigger than her apartment and in a better school district. That's when the problem started. Maya completely changed once they moved in. She went from being quietly polite to openly hostile, especially toward Katie. She'd ignore Katie at home, refuse to sit next to her at dinner, and roll her eyes whenever Katie tried to talk to her. If Katie was watching TV in the living room, Maya would come in and change the channel without asking. Just little mean things that were hard to call out but clearly designed to make Katie feel unwelcome in her own home. Lisa always made excuses for Maya's behavior. She said Maya was just having trouble adjusting to the new family dynamic, that she was hurt about her dad not being around, that she'd grow out of it. But she never did. If anything, she got worse as they got older. In high school, Maya would tell everyone that Katie wasn't her real sister and make fun of her for not having a mom. Katie tried so hard to be nice to her, would invite her to hang out with her friends or offer to help with homework, but Maya shot her down every time. I paid for everything for both girls, their clothes, phones, cars when they turned 16, everything. Lisa's teaching salary wasn't much, and Maya's dad would go months without paying child support. I didn't mind because I wanted both girls to have good opportunities, and Lisa was a good wife who made Katie happy. When college applications came around, I promised to pay tuition for both of them. Katie got into the nursing program she wanted, and Maya was already in her 3rd year of business school at the same college. I thought maybe being at the same school would help them get along better. Katie was excited about it, said maybe they could get lunch together sometimes or help each other study. But Maya just ignored her on campus, pretended not to know her if they ran into each other. Everything fell apart last month. Katie came home on a Wednesday afternoon and went straight to her room. She missed dinner, which never happens. She always at least comes down to say she's not hungry. The next morning, she said she was too sick for class. This went on for 2 days before I finally got her to talk to me. She broke down crying and told me everything. Maya had been telling everyone at college that Katie was having an affair with our neighbor, Mr. Peterson. He's a high school teacher who lives 3 houses down with his wife and kids. Katie sometimes tutors their youngest in math, has been doing it for about a year. Maya turned this into something disgusting, told people Katie was sleeping with him for money and gifts. She said Katie had a history of seducing older men, that she'd done it in high school too. The rumors spread everywhere. People in Katie's nursing program were saying they didn't want someone with loose morals becoming a nurse. Girls she thought were her friends stopped talking to her. Someone even reported her to the dean's office, saying they were concerned about her character. They started investigating her background, calling her old high school everything. Katie was humiliated. She couldn't go to classes because people would whisper and point at her. Her grades were dropping, and her advisor warned her she might fail the semester if she kept missing classes. I was furious. I confronted Maya about it that same night. She just sat there smirking while I talked, then laughed and said Katie needed to learn her place. She said Katie had been acting too perfect all these years, and someone needed to take her down a peg. I lost it. I told her she had two choices: either publicly admit she made everything up and apologize to Katie, or I'd stop paying her college tuition. Maya rolled her eyes and said I couldn't do that because her mom wouldn't let me. I called the college financial office the next morning and pulled my funding for Maya's next semester. When the tuition deadline came around, Maya stormed into my home office demanding to know why I hadn't paid. I told her again, apologize and clear Katie's name, or find another way to pay for college. She refused and ran crying to Lisa. Lisa completely lost it. She started screaming about how I had no right to punish her daughter like this, how I was being cruel and unfair. I reminded her that I'd been supporting Maya for years while her own father couldn't be bothered to send Christmas cards. Lisa said that didn't matter, Maya was her daughter and I couldn't cut her off just because of some silly rumors. That's when I snapped. I told Lisa she needed to choose, either stand with me in holding Maya accountable for her actions, or take Maya's side and move out. Lisa looked shocked, like she couldn't believe I was serious. But I wasn't backing down. Someone had to stand up for Katie, and if her own stepmother wouldn't do it, then I would. Now Lisa isn't speaking to me, Maya still won't apologize, and Katie is talking about dropping out of college completely. I feel like I'm losing my whole family over this, but I don't know what else to do. Am I wrong for finally putting my foot down? Update 1. Things have gone from bad to worse since my last post. Lisa moved out last weekend, saying she needed space to think things through. She packed up her stuff while I was at work, didn't even leave a note, just texted me saying she was going to stay at her sister Karen's house for a while. She took Maya with her, of course. Katie saw them loading up the car and tried to talk to Lisa, but Lisa just got in and drove away without saying goodbye. Watching my daughter get ignored by the woman who helped raise her for 8 years was heartbreaking. But that's not even close to being the worst part of this mess. Remember how I mentioned Maya's dad barely being in the picture? Mark, that's his name, suddenly showed up at my office on Tuesday. Turns out Maya called him with this completely twisted version of what happened. She told him I was abusing her by cutting off her college fund, that I was trying to force her to lie about Katie just because I hated her. She claimed I'd been mistreating her for years and that Lisa was too scared of me to do anything about it. Mark ate up every word. This guy who hasn't paid proper child support in 3 years and forgot Maya's birthday twice is suddenly acting like father of the year. He came storming into my office, I still don't know how he found out where I work, yelling about how he was going to sue me for emotional damages and elder abuse. I had to remind him that Maya is 21, so that's not even a thing. He didn't care, just kept ranting about lawyers and how I'd regret messing with his daughter. The real kicker. Mark is now claiming he'll pay for Maya's college himself. This is same man who couldn't scrape together $200 a month in child support, but now he's suddenly got $25,000 a semester for tuition. I'll believe that when I see it. Lisa is completely falling for it though. Karen, her sister, called me yesterday saying Lisa was talking about what a mistake she made marrying me, how she should have known I'd show my true colors eventually. The betrayal from Lisa hurts the most. I supported her and Maya for 8 years. Paid for everything from Maya's braces to her first car. Helped Lisa pay off her credit card debt when we first got married. Now she's acting like I'm some kind of monster just because I finally stood up to Maya's bullying. But it gets even worse. Katie found out Maya didn't just randomly start these rumors. This was a calculated attack she'd been planning for months. Some of Katie's former friends came to her feeling guilty about believing Maya. They showed us messages where Maya had been slowly poisoning people against Katie since the start of the semester. Maya would start conversations casually mentioning how Katie seemed really close to Mr. Peterson. Then she'd add little details, how Katie always dressed up to tutor his kids, how she'd seen them talking in his driveway late at night. She told people Katie had a history of inappropriate relationships with teachers at their old high school too. All complete lies, but Maya was so convincing that people believed her. She'd even created a fake email account pretending to be one of Katie's old classmates to send anonymous tips to the college about Katie's supposed misconduct. The absolute worst part. Lisa knew about the rumors weeks before everything blew up. Mrs. Thompson, another teacher at Lisa's school, has a daughter at the same college. She mentioned hearing gossip about Katie and asked Lisa if everything was okay. Instead of telling me or defending Katie, Lisa just told Maya to be more discreet about spreading the rumors. When I confronted Lisa about this over text, her response made me sick. She said maybe the rumors would teach Katie some humility because she was too perfect and it wasn't healthy. Too perfect. That's what this is really about. Katie gets good grades, never causes trouble, wants to be a nurse to help people. Maya dropped out of high school twice before finally graduating, parties all the time, and is barely passing her business classes. Instead of encouraging Maya to do better, Lisa decided it was easier to tear Katie down. I filed for divorce yesterday. My lawyer says Lisa might try to claim part of Katie's college fund since we started it during our marriage, but he's confident we can protect it. Lisa can believe whatever she wants about her precious Maya, but I won't stay married to someone who'd participate in destroying my daughter's reputation. Katie is barely holding it together. She started seeing the college counselor, but there's only so much they can do. The rumors have spread so far that even people in other departments know about it. Someone spray-painted slut on her car last week. The campus police said they'd look into it, but without proof of who did it, there's nothing they can do. The whole situation is a nightmare. I keep thinking about all the signs I missed over the years, how Maya would smirk when Katie got upset, how Lisa would dismiss Katie's complaints about Maya's behavior, how they'd have private jokes I didn't understand. I thought we were building a family, but it turns out I just brought people into our home who wanted to hurt my daughter. I'll never forgive myself for not seeing it sooner. Update 2. The truth finally came out, and it's even worse than I imagined. Katie had a complete breakdown last week and told me everything. All this hatred, all these rumors, it wasn't just random teenage drama or Maya being mean. This whole thing was about a boy named Jake. Back in high school, Maya had dated Jake for about 6 months during their junior year. She was completely obsessed with him, would skip classes to hang out at his locker, got mad if he talked to other girls. Jake eventually broke up with her because she was too controlling. Maya didn't take it well, she spread rumors about him at school, followed him around, even showed up at his house in the middle of the night a few times. His parents had to threaten to get a restraining order before she finally backed off. Last year, Jake transferred to their college to study engineering. He and Katie met in a general education class and started dating a few months later. They kept it quiet because Katie knew about Maya's history with him. They'd only tell people they were study partners, wouldn't post anything on social media, never showed affection on campus. But somehow Maya found out anyway. When Jake heard about what Maya was doing to Katie, he finally came forward. He showed us hundreds of messages Maya had sent him over the past year. She'd created fake social media accounts to harass him, telling his friends and family he was cheating on Katie with her. She sent his new girlfriend, before Katie, photoshopped pictures trying to make it look like they were still together. The poor guy had to change his phone number 3 times because of her harassment. The messages were disturbing. Maya would switch between begging Jake to take her back and threatening to ruin his life. When he started dating Katie, Maya completely lost it. She sent him videos of herself crying, saying he was betraying their love. Then she'd turn around and send messages about how she was going to destroy both of them. Jake kept all this from Katie because he didn't want to worry her. He thought Maya would eventually give up and move on. Now he feels guilty for not warning Katie sooner about how obsessive Maya could be. He's been great through all this though. He went to the dean's office with Katie to show them the evidence of Maya's lies and harassment. Lisa still won't admit Maya did anything wrong. She came to the house yesterday to pick up more of her stuff and I tried showing her the messages. She actually said Jake must have faked them all to cover up that he was really cheating with Maya. When I pointed out that Maya was the one who spread lies about Katie and Mr. Peterson, Lisa said there must have been some truth to those rumors because why else would Katie spend so much time at their house? This woman helped raise Katie for 8 years and now she's acting like she doesn't even know her. The divorce is moving forward. Lisa's trying to claim half of everything, including Katie's college fund. My lawyer says she doesn't have a case since I started the fund before we got married and she never contributed to it, but she's still causing problems. She's telling everyone who'll listen that I'm abusive and controlling, that I turned Katie against Maya, that I'm trying to leave her penniless. Some of our mutual friends have stopped talking to me. Maya's dad Mark disappeared again as soon as the tuition bill came due. Big surprise there. Maya posted this long rant on Facebook about how I ruined her life and now she'll never be able to finish college. She conveniently left out the part about spreading vicious lies about her stepsister or stalking her ex-boyfriend. The college is investigating Maya for harassment now that Jake came forward with evidence. They might expel her, which would solve the tuition problem, I guess. Lisa's been calling and texting non-stop, demanding I make Jake drop the complaints against Maya. She doesn't seem to understand that I have no control over what Jake or the college decides to do. I just feel stupid for not seeing this coming. All those years of Maya's little digs at Katie, her mood swings, Lisa making excuses for her behavior, it was all building up to this. I thought if I just treated Maya like my own daughter, supported her and gave her everything she needed, she'd eventually accept us as family. Instead, she was just waiting for the right moment to hurt Katie as much as possible. At least Katie has Jake supporting her through all this. He's been great, going with her to meetings with the dean and helping her deal with all the it's nice to see her smile again when she's with him. Update 3. Final update on this whole mess. A lot has happened since my last post. Katie transferred to a different college about 2 hours away. It wasn't easy, she had to fight to get her credits transferred and explain the situation to the new school's administration. But she's doing so much better now. She's back to her old self, making new friends and getting good grades in her nursing program. Jake transferred there too. He said he couldn't stay at the old college knowing what they let Maya get away with for so long. The investigation at their old college finally wrapped up. Maya got expelled for harassment and creating a hostile environment. They found evidence that she'd been harassing other students too, not just Katie and Jake. Turns out she'd been spreading rumors about lots of people, creating drama wherever she could. The college sent a formal letter apologizing to Katie and offered to help her transfer her credits. Maya dropped out after the expulsion and her dad's empty promises about paying her tuition fell through. Last I heard, she's working at a clothing store at the mall and still living with Lisa at her sister Karen's house. Karen's husband finally got tired of them mooching off them and gave them a deadline to move out. Lisa's been calling me constantly, trying to get me to take them back or at least give them money for an apartment. I blocked her number. The divorce will be final next month. Lisa tried to drag it out by making ridiculous demands. She wanted half of Katie's college fund, part of my retirement, even tried to claim ownership of the house that I bought 10 years before I met her. My lawyer shut all that down pretty quick. In the end, she's getting exactly what the prenup said she would, a fair division of our joint assets from during the nothing more. Katie told me something interesting last week. Apparently, Mr. Peterson's wife ran into Lisa at the grocery store. Lisa actually tried to apologize, said she knew the rumors about Katie were lies but was too scared of losing Maya to stand up to her. Mrs. Peterson told her it was too late for apologies and that she and her husband were disgusted by how Lisa let Maya destroy Katie's reputation. Lisa broke down crying right there in the cereal aisle. The hardest part in all this has been watching Katie deal with the betrayal. Lisa was her stepmom for 8 years, went to all her school events, helped her pick out her prom dress, stayed up late helping her with college applications. For Lisa to choose Maya's lies over Katie, to actually help spread those rumors. That kind of betrayal leaves scars. But Katie's stronger than I ever imagined. She's focused on her future, doing great in her new school, and seems genuinely happy with Jake. She even started playing tennis again at her new college, something she loved but had to give up because of all Maya's drama at the old school. I got served with papers yesterday. Lisa's trying one last time to contest the divorce settlement. My lawyer says it's just desperation since Karen's kicking them out and Maya can't hold down a job. I'm not worried about it. The prenup is solid and we have plenty of evidence of Maya and Lisa's behavior. Sometimes I wonder if I could have done things differently, if there were signs I missed early on. But then I remember how Maya laughed while spreading those lies about Katie, how Lisa defended her even when she knew the truth. Some people just can't be helped, and trying to help them only hurts the people who actually deserve your support. I lost a wife, but I protected Maya in the end, that's all that matters. Looking back, Katie and I were doing just fine on our own all those years ago. We should have stayed that way.